And now, the list of things that you can buy at the Chicago Reader store at chicagoreader.com. Things to wear like Chicago Reader hats, t-shirts, bandanas, and face masks. Things for your daily life like the Chicago Reader camping mug, Chicago Reader tote bags, and a Chicago Reader reporter's notebook. Things for you to read like our Reader recipes, the Chicago Reader 420 Companion, our Chicago Reader Best of book series from journalists Maya Dukmasova, Mike Sula, Ben Jarofsky, and Lior Galil, the Chicago Reader coloring book, and the Chicago Reader Stay Home puzzle. Find the Chicago Reader store at chicagoreader.com and show your support for the nation's first free weekly newspaper since 1971. Hey everybody, how's it going? We're live. Welcome to our first installment of our new weekly show. Oh, what a week it was. Ben, are you there?
I am here.
Okay, off to a good start. Ben is here.
And the camera's working. Google Meet's working. Life is good, Dave.
Well, you say your camera's working, but I see a big giant capital B.
Oh, what's that all about?
I don't know.
Let me try this.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Here we go.
The whole thing could go down.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
Did it work?
No.
Turn on camera, and then it goes off again. What's going on?
No.
Wait, I'll try this. Hold on.
Oh.
Let's see.
Oh, tense moments here.
God, it's baffling.
All right, don't worry about
How come it doesn't work?
I don't know.
You want me to go out and come back again?
It's not a big deal. It's good. But when we have the video for everybody to see, then I think that'll be a big deal.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Good point. Good point.
All right, everybody. Your Ben Jarofsky show. Oh, what a week it was. More mixed messages, and Pritzker's new challenger is brought to you in part by SEIU Healthcare, Illinois, Indiana. The Chicago Federation of Labor are sponsors, as well as the Chicago Reader. chicagoreader.com for all things there is to know. The city of Chicago, where to go, what to do, what to eat, how to think politically. So many things about the city of Chicago. If you're a clueless Chicagoan, get a clue. chicagoreader.com and subscribe. Also, chicagoreader.com/Jarofsky for all things The Ben Jarofsky Show. Our endless list of episodes, over 900 you can check out. Also, Ben Jarofsky's latest book. It's called His Greatest Hits. That is now out, covering 40 years of Chicago journalism. It's his greatest hits. You can buy the book. But if you become a bin head, that is what we call avid listeners of this program, you will get a deal on that book. Speaking of being a bin head, chicagoreader.com/Jarofsky, Jorav as in victory, SKY. It's a 3-tier system. You can become a bin head. You can support us on the avenue or the alley level. I think Ben oversees the alley every day here on the Ben Jarofsky Show. You can be an alley member. You can be an avenue member, or you can join Benny Boulevard. That's right. And when you join Benny Boulevard, you will get a free copy of Ben Jarofsky's greatest hits. So if you want to help out the program, you can. chicagoreader.com/Jarofsky. All right. We're changing the format up here a bit. And if you've noticed, live streamers and downloaders, our host hasn't butchered a song all week. We usually do a song of the day, but now we are saving it for our Friday special with a song of the week. Frank has weighed in. He was the first on the live stream chat, as always. Thank you very much, Frank. And Frank has a song of the week for you today. Your song of the week, Disco Inferno by the Tramps.
Oh, I love that song. Love Disco by Tavares. Is that who does it?
It says
Disco.
the Tramps.
Oh, it could be the Tramps. Anyway, it was the 70s, Frank. Smoking a lot of reefer. Here we go. Disco Inferno, boom, baby, boom, baby. Disco Inferno, boom, baby, baby. Come on, Nate. Disco Inferno. Love that song, man.
The Ben Jarofsky Show. Oh, what a week it was. Starts now. It is Friday, April 2nd, and welcome to the Ben Jarofsky Show's Oh, What a Week It Was, a week in review in Chicago and or Illinois politics. And now your host, Chicago Reader columnist Ben Jarofsky.
Hello, everybody. Ben Jarofsky here. Yes, it's Week in Review Friday. But before we get there, D, I just want to give a shout out to Robert Herschen, a great poet who passed away this week. You know, I figured a Week in Review, I might give tribute, start each Week in Review with a little tribute to somebody who had a worthwhile life and passed on. And I don't know if I've mentioned this. I have mentioned this from time to time. One of my favorite sections of any newspaper is the obituary section. Youngsters, you will find this will be happening to you. The older you get, the more you will start reading the obituary section of a newspaper, if you read a newspaper at all, or you'll follow obituaries online, however you follow your news. In part, it's because you just want to check out to see if you're still alive. That's an old joke, which I stole from someone who said it many times before. Anyway, before we get to Dennis's Week in Review, just want to give a shout out. Robert Herschen is his name. He's 84 years old. He was a poet. He had a press. He published other poetry. And he was a delightful, simple poet with he had a hidden sense of humor, subtle sense of humor. And this poem he wrote, which ran in the New York Times years ago, is F-Stop. And I love this poem, and I thought of Dennis when I read it. Back in the old days before the pandemic. Yeah, you'll get why.
Man.
Back in the old days before the pandemic.
You thought of me?
Yes, you, the doctor, the young doctor from Mountain, Illinois, and I would take the train home from downtown Chicago every day at around rush hour. And we would get on that track, and we would watch people a train would pull up, and it would be packed with people. And Dennis and I would look at each other, yeah, let's get the next. Why would we get on this train? There's another one coming. And they would say over the loudspeaker, someone would say, a voice would come over, oh, no need to get on this train. There's one right behind it. And you'd see all these, I don't want to reduce them to everyone's a millennial, but all these, workers, there we go, just call them workers, packing it anyway. And I'd be like, guys, Dennis knows this is true. I'd be like saying it. You don't have to get on. There's another train coming. No, gotta get on. It's even more like sardines. And then Dennis and I would wait, and then the next train would come, and we would sit back. No one would be on it. We'd sit back, light up a doobie, have a drink. It was great.
We wouldn't smoke pot on the train.
No, I just.
But Ben, we were kind of ahead of the curve if you think about it, because we were not into socially gathering and being around a bunch of people before the pandemic started. You know what I mean?
No, in fact, we were so adverse to it. I remember there was one time I think we let 2 trains go by, or maybe 3. Nope, still too many. Nope. We loved it. It was just you get on a train. There was like 3 other people on. That's how you get on a train, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, Robert Herschen wrote a great poem. I'm going to read it. It's called F-Stop. There's an F train in New York City. F-Stop. And here's the poem by Robert Herschen. Don't push. There is another F train right behind us. There's another F that's faster and finer than this F is. It serves French fries and frog legs. All the seats face front and are covered with monkey fur. A flutist plays melodies in F. It's on an infinitely superior F train. It's right behind us. Why don't you wait? Because we know the faces of those for whom the trains have never come. And we fear that what finally roars from that sour tunnel is fury itself. There is another F train right behind us. Let some other fool wait. And they start the push toward home. F-Stop. Robert Herschen died the other day at age 84. May he rest in peace. And now, without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, the pride of joy of Alton, Illinois, Dr. D.
How's it going, everybody? Brand new segment starting. You had the week off. Everything's good. Still Dr. D. How's it going? Name's Dennis. All right, everybody, let's go. Week in review. Who? Ben, you feeling it? Come on. Yeah. Wake up.
Oh, hold on. My headphone just fell off.
Oh, my God. Camera's not working. Headphones falling off. You're a wreck, dude. One more day. All right?
Hold on. There we go. Fixed it. Okay, I'm good.
All right, let's talk about the week that was in Chicago and or Illinois. We begin in Illinois, and we begin with our Illinois governor, J.B. Pritzker.
I'm not a perfect person.
Yes, we're well aware, Governor. Well aware. Typical week for the governor. This damn dirty coronavirus still won't go away. We did just see another uptick in positive COVID-19 cases. More on that in moments. But The vaccine is being distributed across Illinois. The state has received some federal pandemic relief money, and Governor J.B. Pritzker has been all across Illinois to talk about it. On Wednesday, Governor Pritzker was at South Elgin High School, where he offered guidance for schools in spending pandemic relief federal money. Pritzker also announced his support to renew K-12 learning.
Whether it's academic and behavioral counseling, out-of-classroom experiences like high-value tutoring, after-school programs and summer camps, or creating individualized student profiles to craft the best plans for all students.
And Ben, did you know that 70% of seniors 65 and older have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine? Did you know that?
No.
Well, it's true.
I did not know that.
And according to the governor, the state cannot move into the bridge phase just quite yet.
There are areas of the state where there are fewer people signing up for appointments than you might expect. They're not filling every appointment that's being put forward. And so we want to make sure we get every dose into every arm that we possibly can across the state as quickly as possible. We are getting many more doses than we were even last week. That's a great thing, and we want to make sure that we're running people through these vaccination centers as quickly as possible. People are making appointments as soon as they possibly can, and we're going to do everything we can to get Illinois to a place where we get to herd immunity as fast as we could.
I love listening to J.B. Pritzker talk about the pandemic, D, and his efforts to keep people from dying in the state of Illinois. We've been listening to this now for over a year. Over a year, we've been listening to this from the comfort of my attic and the comfort of your apartment. J.B. Pritzker doing absolutely everything he can to sound cool and calm and collected and in charge and reasonable. And I appreciate it. I've said this many times. I really appreciate the effort that J.B. Pritzker is making. I think probably more than any other governor. You know, my examination of governors is limited. I followed Cuomo in New York, Newsom in California, DeSantis in Florida. Those are the ones, Abbott in Texas. You know, followed these governors and how they're handling it. And in my opinion, Pritzker's done the best. I feel that Newsom and Cuomo are a disgrace. Newsom going to that restaurant, I don't know what he was thinking. Now he's in trouble. There's a recall effort in California. I don't think it'll succeed, but the hypocrisy that he displayed when he went to that restaurant and ate after telling everybody, stay at home, don't go out. I don't know what he was thinking. And of course, Cuomo bearing evidence that the state of Illinois, the state of New York had allowed COVID patients into nursing homes, trying to keep people from knowing the truth. There should be a recall in New York. Of course, everybody knows I'm not that pleased with Cuomo in the first place. But I think Pritzker has done a very good job of trying to balance just the needs of being the governor who has to reassure people that there's going to be a solution, but and also be stern, trying to warn people that there will be consequences if they don't follow the law. So I appreciate the balancing act he's done. I realize at times, D, he's sent out mixed messages. And I realize at times that he is headed toward Newsom country when he allowed some of his family members to do things. I think when it was a family member went to Florida for a horse event or something like that. Come on, JB. So he's not perfect, but I think he's done an adequate job, more than adequate job, particularly in contrast to these other governors. But I'll say it. I've said it all along, D. It is like watching a man do his best to keep his composure and pretend as though the lunacy that's happening outside his door does not exist. Because the reality is a good chunk of the state doesn't believe him, will never support him, no matter what he says, no matter how calm and measured he tries to be, no matter how reassuring and bipartisan he is. There's a huge chunk of this state. I'd say it's at least 40%, D. 40% of the state just doesn't want anything to do with this guy. And so there's something kind of funny about it. And this is, I think, like we talked about this in the early days of Pritzker. Like, his ability to take a blow and to keep on going. And so they aren't pounding him. You know, I remember when back when he was running for office in the first place. Dennis and I had a field day with this. Every reporter would try to get him to give the details of his graduated tax plan out. His graduated tax plan, which of course crashed and burned with the Fair Tax Initiative last year. Remember, D? Remember how they would try every which way. They would ask the question one way, then they would repackage it and ask it
You
another
even
way.
tried.
Yes, I did.
Failed.
In the old days, Pritzker came on the show and he smiles at you, and he smiles and he just ducks and dodges, and as he's ducking and dodging and smiling at you, what he really is saying, you can ask me this question 5 different ways and I'm not going to answer it. Moreover, I'm just going to keep smiling at you. And I like that. I found it reassuring in some ways. You know, that he doesn't get mad. A lot of politicians get mad with questioning. You know, last week we were on break, so we missed the great Fuhrer, D. We didn't get an opportunity to talk about this in last week's week that was, because there was no week that was for last week. Because we were on vacation. We were off. But Mayor Lori Lightfoot got mad at Marianne Ahern.
Oh, yeah.
I think he sent you the bit. And at a press conference, and she said, "That's a bullshit question, Marianne." She got all mad at her. And then it turned out, I'm going to tangent with a tangent, D. But then it turned out, follow me on this one, folks, that Marianne Ahern may have been set up. After Lori Lightfoot said it was a bullshit question, Marianne Ahern, Channel 5 investigative reporter, Channel 5 political reporter, I should say, released the fact that the mayor's press secretary or communications secretary, whatever they call him, had asked her to ask the question.
You're kidding.
No, here, ask this question. I forget what the question was. And it doesn't matter what the question was. It was just, ask this question. So now I'm wondering, did the communications person tell her to ask that question because Mayor Lori Lightfoot had intended to say was bullshit, that they were going to use Marianne Ahern as like a prop?
Yeah, the mayor hasn't cursed like a dirty sailor in a while. Let's have her ask that question.
Yeah, let's everybody make the press look bad, hate the press even more than they already do. Or was there just bad communication between the mayor's communication person and the mayor? And the mayor did not know that question was coming. D, I want you to spend the next week of your life digging into that.
Dude, I'm going to spend the rest of the week trying to figure out what the question was. So
I know what the question was. Uh-huh. It just came to me. It just came to me as I talked. It had to do with Loretto Hospital. And Marianne Ahern asked the question, did Loretto Hospital get a list from the mayor's office of people with clout who should get the vaccine ahead of all the rest of the people who lived in the Austin area who were supposed to get it? And so I don't know. Now that I think about it, it was a perfect opportunity. Yeah, here's what you do, Marianne Ahern. This is the communication person. Ask this question, and then Marianne Ahern goes, "Okay," and then the communication person is like, "Watch what happens to you." And Lori Lightfoot goes, "That's a terrible question. How dare you? Dare you accuse of that? That's bullshit." And everybody's like, "Oh, the mayor swore! Oh, thank God! Thank God, the mayor swore!" And everybody's running, "Shh, the mayor swore," shh, which reminds me that Kim Fox came on our show and swore. Remember that one, D?
Oh, yeah. Most publicity we ever got.
I know, it's like, I killed them to say it, but they go, she swore on a podcast called The Ben Joravsky Show.
And that was the Sun Times.
Was that the bright one who wrote it?
Yeah.
We were in the office. That's right. We were in the bright one office in those good old days. Yes. So anyway, I don't think bullshit's that big a deal.
Well, I mean, we have heard her say worse.
I want an answer. It's not something you ignore.
I think you're 100% full of shit, is what I think. If you think
no offense, well, fuck you then. Who are you to tell me I'm full of shit?
Okay, guys, calm it down.
Yeah, break it up, okay? No offense, all right? Yeah, well, she just said you're full of shit, D, which is technically the same thing as saying bullshit. But anyway, it was, I didn't know about this to do, confession time, D, between Marianne Ahern and Mayor Lori Lightfoot. I have a confession here I must make.
Let's hear it.
It's a little embarrassing, but not on Twitter. So I missed it all. Yeah. Hey, you want to keep a secret from Ben? Put it on Twitter. 10 billion people will know about it, but not Ben. Ugh. What? That happened? I didn't know. It's because you don't follow Twitter, man. Oh, jeez. Hate when that happens. Anyway, but since I was alerted to it, I took the deep dive. Now I know more about it than 9 out of 10 people in the world, D. How about that? Isn't that amazing?
How about that?
Yeah. So that was a tangent from, I don't know where that tangent began. Oh, JB Pritzker, now he answers. JB, I just can't imagine JB saying, that's bullshit, Marianne Ahern. That's just not JB's style. You know, he'll be like, well, you know, I know. And then he was just, it was kind of my Ken Davis imitation.
No,
just
it's definitely your Ken Davis.
Emerged from nowhere. I don't know where that came from. It's like Ken Davis just came into my head. So, yes, JB Pritzker avoids of those kinds of entanglements. But now I wonder, sometimes, D, when I'm walking at night, I wonder, did Mayor Lori Lightfoot set up Mary Ann Ahern? Or did Mayor Lori Lightfoot not know what her communication person had told Mary Ann Ahern? And are the people of the city of Chicago really so shocked every time a public official swears? It's like such a big deal. The mayor swore. Highlights, details at 10. But first, this. So.
Well, that's good though. You said JB Pritzker is doing the best out of all the governors in the United States. JB Pritzker, anything you'd like to say about that?
Face coverage.
Okay, well,
D, I
say
have
that
to
every
say,
time.
I'm thinking about it. Really, I'm like, you know, again, and a confession time. I've not studied every state. There's like 6 or 7 states that I follow.
shout out to Frank on the live stream chat. He's helping us out here a bit. He's making a list of governors who are doing a nice job during the pandemic. If you're listening on the live stream chat, feel free to weigh in as well. Frank puts Andy Bashar in Kentucky has done a great job, and he also says John Bell Edwards in Louisiana has done a good job.
Yeah, these are governors of a very similar situation to JB. They're under attack. See, one thing I've noticed about the pandemic, and we've talked about this a lot, the pandemic's not being treated in this country as an issue or a threat that affects all people. It's a partisan issue. So bizarre and weird and twisted how our country has responded to the pandemic. It's a partisan issue. And so Republicans have come to the conclusion that the best way to deal with the pandemic is to either pretend that it doesn't exist or pretend that it's a hoax created by the Democrats, or try to blame the whole thing on the Chinese, or vilify the doctors like Fauci who say, beware, take caution, and to pretend as though some great fundamental liberty or freedom is at stake when government says, you know, maybe a good idea to wear a mask. So that's the Republican strategy to dealing with the pandemic. And so when you get a governor like the governor of Kentucky or the governor of Louisiana, who are Democrats in red states, they are in a very tricky situation. And Pritzker has a similar thing, as Dennis has pointed out many times. There are huge chunks of the state of Illinois where there are Pritzker sucks signs. So it's not like Lori Lightfoot.
There's certain parts of the states where there's Pritzker sucks, like window decals. There's Pritzker sucks hats. It's like a thing, you know?
It is a total thing. And so, you know, the mayor of the city of Chicago, the mayor of Evanston, Danny Biss, the newly elected mayor there, he's not going to face a revolt from Evanstonians when he says it's a good idea if you go to Trader Joe's, wear a mask. You know, the Evanstonians are not going to put up Biss sucks signs. So I have a greater appreciation for someone like Pritzker, who has to take incoming fire from Looney Tunes just for trying to get people to do the right thing. So, yeah, a little sympathetic to Pritzker on that front, D.
All right, now about that recent uptick in positive COVID-19 cases. Now, we here on the Ben Joravsky Show don't want to say we told you so. Who are we kidding? We've been waiting all week to say it. We so told you so. The following comes from the Chicago Sun-Times, Mitchell Armentrout, and Fran the Woe-Man Spielman. March 31st at 7:28 p.m. Illinois' COVID-19 uptick took another jump Wednesday as Chicago's, quote, Quantum Leap in cases raised more concerns. That's a great show, by the way. Quantum Leap in cases raised more concerns of a potential third surge of the virus. Another 2,592 residents across the state were diagnosed with the virus among 77,727 tests, which lowered Illinois' average positivity rate to 3.3%. This is according to the Illinois Department of Public Health. And Ben, here's something we haven't heard in a while. Governor J.B. Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot agree. What? They agree that this uptick has halted any talk of further reopening. But according to Spielman and Armentrout, the two are still far apart on when all adults should be eligible to receive a COVID-19 vaccine dose. The governor voiced concern Wednesday over the city's timetable for that move, saying, quote, "I think that they will want to do that sooner than they are currently planning to." Pritzker said he's also, quote, concerned about the city's vaccination pace and not just its supply, which it receives from the federal government separately from the rest of Illinois. In talking what he called aggressive action against the increase last week, Pritzker gave local health departments the okay to open vaccine eligibility to all adults in areas where demand for appointments has waned before he opens eligibility across the entire state on April 12th. He suggested Chicago should follow suit. Pritzker went on to say, quote, "I am concerned, I'll be honest with you, that the city of Chicago seems to want to delay beyond April 12th in terms of opening up to everybody. I think that they will want to do that sooner than they are currently planning to, but they get their doses directly from the federal government and are making some different decisions there. But let me just be clear. We should be getting every dose into every arm that we possibly can, beginning as soon as we possibly can." Anything you'd like to say there, Ben?
Yes. So much I'd like to say. I've been saying it since the pandemic, since we've realized that there's a vaccine that can immunize people. I do not understand why our country did not dedicate itself to the goal of vaccinating as many people as fast as they could. Well, I know the answer. I know capitalism plays a role in this and limiting access of the drug to drug companies as opposed to nationalizing it. I understand ultimately what the reason is, but just think, D, they should be sending people door to door. If it's so important to protect people, if it's so important to get our economy going again and get people moving out of their houses again without fear of getting a disease that could kill them, we should go door to door to give them the vaccine. But no, we got this cockamamie system. I'll get my second shot tomorrow because I'm a geezer. I had to wait. How long? Do you remember? I was going to this site and that site and the other site. And all of a sudden out of nowhere, came a message that I was able to get the vaccine. It was like really fast. I remember rushing over. I told people, I got the email. I rushed over to my wife's beauty parlor because she's the only one who knows in our household how to use the computer, by the way. A tangent with it, a tangent with it, a tangent. She's also the only one who knows how to set up the beautiful Schimpf microphone that I got. Got this great Schimpf microphone.
Dude, I'm about to ride my bike over there and just put it. It'll take like 5 minutes.
I got this beautiful, and thank you, Schimpf, and thank you, Amy Matheny from the Chicago Reader for making it possible.
There's no S on the end. It's just sure.
Yeah. Oh, what did I call it?
Sures.
Dude, you're supposed to let me skate over that one. Now, there go. Oh, hold on. Ding dong. Here they come. They want the microphone back because I mispronounced the name. Come on, guys. Give me another chance. Anyway, so my wife promises to do that over the weekend. Just as she figured out, Adam, I'm not good with that phone stuff. D, all right, you know?
It's a microphone.
Yeah, I know, but no, I'm talking about the phone with, you have to, you got to go to your cell phone and confirm you're getting the appointment.
Oh, okay. We're back to the appointment. Okay, okay.
They should send someone to ding dong. Hello, old man. Roll up your sleeve. Okay, see ya. Nah, let's make it really complicated and convoluted. Let's hold back precious amounts that only the clout can get, the clouded people can get. Hello, hey, I got a vaccine. Want to stop by?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they did that downstate though? Went door to door to people. Those people would be harassed every other house they went to.
Yeah, no, because they don't believe downstate people of the MAGA persuasion. There are some good people downstate. I'm going to defend downstate, which is wow. The roles are reversed here.
Well, I said every other house.
Okay, there we go. There's a lot of good people downstate. Bob Diver, one of my favorite Democrats, is from downstate. Should have voted for him for governor. Damn, wish I had. Dennis is now smiling. Yeah, well, I did, Ben. I voted for Bob Diver. Oh, God, I hate it when he gets to say he voted for the cooler candidate.
But we got to get down to business.
Where was I? I was on a tangent within a tangent within a tangent. Oh! So this fight between Pritzker, the squabble between Pritzker and Lightfoot, that this thing's been going on. Have you noticed this, D? Subterranean, like they don't want to really come out and say it. You know what I mean? They don't really want to go at each other. I mean, they're both Democrats, and
well, just wait till she tells Pritzker he's full of shit. That's coming. It
may have already happened. We only know of that confrontation between Alderman Raymond Lopez, and Lori Lightfoot, Mayor Lori Lightfoot, because somebody released that tape. That's a tape of a quote-unquote private meeting that shouldn't have been private in the first place. In, what was it, May or June of last year, right after George Floyd was murdered, and there was unrest in the city of Chicago, and the mayor met with aldermen virtually. Private meeting to talk about what the city was doing to deal with the unrest. We only know about that because it was leaked. What about if there was conversations, virtual conversations between J.B. Pritzker and Mayor Lori Lightfoot, D, where J.B. goes, I want an answer. And Lori Lightfoot goes, I think you're 100% full of shit, Governor. Wow.
And then Pritzker goes, well, no offense, but.
Love that. I think that exchange between Raylo and Lori Lightfoot got me through the summer, D.
Me too.
It was a rough summer.
Dude, it got me through the summer, the fall, the winter.
Got to get Raylo back. I keep saying that. But so maybe it's already happened because there's like this tension, this rivalry. Each one wants to be, the person in charge. J.B. Pritzker is the governor of the state. Last I looked, Chicago is part of the state. But in the city of Chicago, our notion is that the mayor is the sun that rises into the sky from the east. And it's the sun that rules the city of Chicago. And all Chicagoans bow down to the mayor. Oh, mayor, you are wise. Oh, mayor, I love you so.
Yeah, for those looking for a Mayor Lightfoot interview on the Ben Joravsky Show, never happening. Never happening.
It was that way under Rahm, too. Mayor Rahm, oh, he's so wise. Chicagoans love a strong, tough, wise mayor. They believe in it. Because Chicagoans are like a simple peasant type of people, D. Okay? And I've lived here for 1990. Well, I should be allowed to say that. And they want to believe that their leaders really care about them and are wise and benevolent and fearless and courageous and know it all. So it's very important for Chicagoans to know that their mayor has a say in this. So Lori Lightfoot has to say every now and then, I am going to do this because I want to do it, not because you told me to do it. Okay? Got that, JB? Oh, okay. That's my JB imitation. No, I got a better
horrible
imitation.
Yeah, I know you got a better one.
Steve Miller. Nah, still sucks.
A little better, but yeah, still pretty good.
Yeah, so I got that little rivalry there. Little rivalry between Lori Lightfoot and J.B. Pritzker. So he had to let the world know there. I don't understand why you're not giving out these vaccines to absolutely everyone. And she has to let the world know. I'm in charge of Chicago. I know exactly how many vaccines we have, how many arms we have. So stay away.
Go Cubs.
Hello, I'm the mayor. You're just the governor. Stay in your lane.
No offense, Mayor, but fuck you. How about that? All right. So we heard from the governor, now to the Chicago mayor on all
By the way,
this.
I'm just going to say your imitation of J.B. Pritzker, heading in the Marge Simpson country, just saying that.
All right, I'll work on it over the weekend. No offense, but fine. Oh, yeah, it is a little... Okay, all right, you're right.
And no, it's the sisters. It's more like Marge's sisters.
Patty and Selma.
They smoking cigarettes. My.
All right, so we've heard from the governor on all this. Let's hear from the Chicago mayor, Lori Lightfoot. Lightfoot said, quote, "There's a quantum leap from where we were even 3 weeks ago. That is concerning," boy, I'd say. "And that is obviously dictating that we have to proceed with caution as we open up. We're not going to see anything more significant in the reopening front until we see those numbers stabilize and start to come down. Yes, nothing more significant in the reopening front. For the love of God, you were at the Chicago Cubs home opener with people in the crowd." Which leads us to this Easter holiday weekend. The following comes from the Chicago Sun-Times and Mitchell Armentrout. And let's see here. Oh, yes. And those still wondering, yes, the Chicago Sun-Times headline writers still love their puns. The headline reads, "Easter egg punt." You know, instead of Easter egg hunt, Easter egg punt. Easter egg punt. "Coronavirus spike. Good reason to skip holiday celebrations," Chicago's top doc says. This was Thursday, April 1st at 5:44 p.m. Mitchell Armentrout writes, by the way, just to be clear, Mitchell Armentrout did not come up with that headline. There's a whole staff that writes those. You're welcome, Mitchell. Don't want you to be associated with that headline. Easter egg punt. Ugh. All right, it says here, in person, Easter celebrations should be put on hold as coronavirus infection rates hop. Oh, okay, I didn't realize that till I read it. Hop back up to troubling levels, the city's top doctor warned Thursday, unless family members are fully vaccinated, meaning 2 weeks removed from their final dose. It's best to keep gatherings virtual with COVID-19 still looming. That's according to the Chicago Public Health Commissioner, one Dr. Allison Arwani. That's even more important this weekend because the virus is already spreading across the city and state at the quickest rate seen in almost 2 months. For the love of God, doctor, you threw out the first pitch of the same Cubs game, celebrating the reopening of the baseball season with about 8,000 people in the crowd. Good Lord. Arwani said hours before she was scheduled to throw out a ceremonial pitch before 8,000 plus fans allowed to see the Cubs open the season at Wrigley Field. She said, hey, quote, "I have every confidence in their plans for being at the stadium. My concern is more gatherings that are probably going to happen to watch that game or around that game, as opposed to what's in the actual stadium." By the way, in the actual stadium, 8,000 people. But anyway. Anybody having a family gathering of 8,000? Probably not. Arwani continued saying, quote, "You don't want your Easter celebration to turn into a contact tracing event. You really don't. Each day, as more people get vaccinated, these things are becoming safer. But with the amount of people fully vaccinated, unless you've got a fully vaccinated group gathering, there is still a fair bit of risk. It's a time when a lot of people traditionally get together, but the virus does not know that it's Easter." Stupid virus. Get a calendar. "It does not know that it is Passover. The things that we've been doing to protect each other and protect those we care about, especially now with the vaccine in the mix, become even more important." Ben Joravsky, your thoughts?
All right. First of all, just to add to that list, the virus does not know it's Easter. The virus does not know it's Passover, and the virus does not know it's a Cubs opener. I'm now going to defend the city of Chicago, D, from your withering assault. Okay, I will now defend the city of Chicago. Don't say I don't defend you, city of Chicago. You know, they're like, well, it's true. I think it was closer to 10,000 people. Well, let's say 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, whatever, 10,000 people. But Dennis, it's outdoors. And it's a big stadium, and it could be 40,000 people, so they're spread out. So knock it off. Give me a break, man. I don't know, dude. This has been a favorite theme of ours since the get-go, the mixed messages that are sent out all the time about the virus and the pandemic and the urge, that like the conflicting needs that our leaders feel. On one hand, they want to safeguard the public. They want people to take the proper precautions. And on the other hand, they want some semblance of commerce going on. They want the economy to be going, right? And this is really prevalent at the outset in February. I remember Mayor Lori Lightfoot, and her health commissioner doing a press conference. I think it was a press conference. Maybe it was just a meeting or something with the press. But anyway, talking about don't stay away from Chinatown. Continue to go to Chinatown. Don't let these early reports of this virus in China deter you. Remember that, D? Remember those days?
Yeah.
And then like within 2 weeks, they were acting like they never said it. This is dangerous. Don't go anywhere.
Stay home. Save lives.
I feel as though, in general, we as a people don't recognize that we as a people can be wrong. Let's follow me where I'm going with this, D. I actually didn't. I'm now going into uncharted waters. I have no idea what I'm going to say next.
God.
I can say something really stupid that within 2 minutes I go, I completely disagree with what I just said. But let me just take it where I think I'm going. It's like we always have to be right about everything. I talk about this all the time with journalists, like this impulse that journalists have. They can never admit they don't know something. So no matter what, if you talk, particularly it's like something a Chicago journalists have. If you tell a Chicago journalist, you send them a link to a story. Oh, I saw that. I knew that. Yeah, I knew that. I'm a Chicago journalist. I know everything. You could make up the link. You would say, oh, yeah, I knew that. I made that story up. Yeah, I knew you made it up too. So it's like we have this impulse. We always have to be right. We have to know everything. And you know what? We don't know everything. So I don't know. It may be healthy if Lori Lightfoot were to say, everything I said last week was wrong because I didn't know. No, then she wouldn't be the all-powerful mayor. The emperor, the empress of Chicago. People in the city of Chicago want to believe whatever our mayor says is right because we have to have total faith in our mayor. She never admit that we don't know what's going on. I don't know, D. I just think in general, I look like Republicans are bashing Fauci these days, ripping Fauci left and right because he stumbled too at the outset. Remember Fauci said it wasn't necessary to wear masks. Now he explains what he was actually saying. He was trying to prevent people from making a run on the really preventative masks that doctors and nurses need. He has an explanation for it, but they're still holding him to that. Hey, doctor, you said we didn't even have to wear masks. Why should we listen to you now? So, it's just like, hey, we're not perfect. This is a completely once-in-a-lifetime experience. As old as I am, D, I have never experienced anything like this pandemic. I know that stuns you and shocks you. You're like, Ben, you're so old. You've lived forever. That never happened before. So why would I pretend that I know what's going on? I remember I had to tease my dear friend Mick Humke. I had a drive into our old show, and he was on BEZ, and the reporters were gathered around, and they were all opining about this pandemic that was still in China. And I knew every single one of those reporters had no idea what the hell they were talking about. But, you're supposed to know something. You can't just say, I don't know. What the hell do I know? I'm a City Hall reporter. What do I know about a pandemic? I flunked chemistry. That would be me. Actually, I didn't flunk it technically. I got a D. Thank you, chemistry teacher. Okay.
Way to go.
Chemistry teacher said, hey, Ben, I'm so sick of looking at you. If I flunk you, you're going to be back next year. I'll give you a D. Beat it. God bless social promotion. So can you imagine me if I run that show? Well, Ben, what do you think about this pandemic? I don't know. Can we talk about the Bulls? I know a lot about the Bulls. Everybody's got to be an expert.
Right.
Lori Lightfoot has to be an expert.
Well, we said it a few weeks ago. It's as if this thing just happened a year ago and everybody just made the rules up. It's like it's literally a year old. Only a year old.
Yeah, it's only. And by the way, it's the rules vary from state to state, from governor to governor, from party to party. We were just making fun of the city of Chicago. They allowed 10,000? I think it was 10,000. Maybe it was 8,000. I don't know. 8,000 Cub fans at Wrigley Field to see the wretched Cubs. Don't get me started on the Cubs. Already discussed it earlier today with Romana Hussein, the Romana Rundown, which is running tomorrow. We did a pre-recording. I'm shattering the fourth wall. Anyway, I discussed it with her. I'm so sick of the Cubs and their ownership. The Cubs stuck. They lost. but there were still 10,000 people or whatever. In Texas, they no, we're not having any limitations. We're going to let everybody. Why would you do that? You're insane. That's freaking insane. You're going to allow 40,000 people. And by the way, Texas already said you don't have to wear masks. So you're going to allow 40,000 people. You know you're spreading the virus. You know you are, Texas. You know you are, Republicans. We don't care. We don't believe in it. That's the official policy of the Republican Party. And we're not budging from it at all. And Fauci was wrong that one time. So we're not going to believe anything he says forever, ever. Because he was wrong that one time. Never, ever, ever will we believe him. That's our country, D, dealing with the pandemic. That's our country, okay? So it's a miracle we've survived. We've done as well as we have. When I think about it, it's a miracle we've done as well as we have.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always next week. Who knows what we're going to be talking about next week? But we do have more city news to discuss from the week. But just one more story involving our Illinois governor. And the magic number is 3. There are now 3 Illinois Republicans looking to make a gubernatorial run against our Democratic Illinois Governor, J.B. Pritzker. The latest name was announced on Tuesday. Let's find out who it is. It is time for a wicked early 2022 Illinois Gubernatorial Candidate Update.
This is a 2022 Illinois Gubernatorial Candidate Update.
All right, so first let's run through the 2 we already know are running. First up, quick question. Who's going to feed them hogs? That's what downstate farmer, senator, and now gubernatorial candidate Darren Bailey will be asking once campaign season kicks off. And for those who can't quite put their finger on who Darren Bailey is, remember, he's the dude who sued the governor after he announced his 5-phase strategy to safely reopen Illinois.
Let's begin with phase 1.
And if you're one of those in Illinois who are vehemently disagreeing with how the governor is handling this pandemic, or if you think wearing a mask is for pussies, well, you or if you have one of those stupid Pritzker sucks signs in your yard, this is your candidate. Am I right, Ben?
Yes. Darren Bailey was, I don't know, for the virus before it was fashionable. Can you say he was for the virus? I mean, he was against fighting the virus. So that kind of suggests that he was for the virus. I thought about that, D. He's like, we didn't need masks. He thought that was an intrusion on our liberty. We didn't need them. We didn't need stay-at-home orders or social protocol order. The virus was exaggerated. The threats of it were exaggerated. Remember, he had that judge. Oh my God, we talked about this all the time. I forget the judge's name. The hang 'em high judge from downstate Illinois, who ruled in his favor all the time.
Yeah.
They're making it up as they go on. So it's like, so he was. I guess you could say, you can make the argument that if you're anti-fighting the virus, you're for the virus. Just saying. That could be his platform. I am for the virus. Could get you a few votes. So DB was against JB, like that, long before it was fashionable, and fighting any efforts to compel the citizens of Illinois to take precautions that might save their lives, because that would be an infringement on their liberties. So if you believe in that, if you believe that the Cubs should allow 40,000 people into Wrigley Field to see that wretched team blow another game, then DB's your guy. He's been for the virus since the virus hit the shores. How about that, D? That's pretty good. For the virus. You can make that argument. Just saying, you can make that argument. So DB's your guy if you think the virus is a hoax.
Also, Darren Bailey is the star of this familiar Ben Joravsky Show audio drop.
That is correct.
That is correct. That is correct that is Darren Bailey. Our next Republican gubernatorial hopeful is Paul Schimpf. No, not Detlef Shrimp. He was a basketball player. It's Paul Schimpf. Get with the times. That was like the 90s. He's a former state senator and retired Marine. Schimpf made his statewide debut with his 2014 run for Illinois Attorney General, a race he lost to incumbent Democrat Lisa Madigan. Schimpf defeated Democratic candidate Sheila Simon in 2016 to represent the 58th District and served one term before deciding not to run again. Political insiders said he was considered for a federal judgeship, an appointment that never materialized. He said at the time he was, quote, unable to commit to another term, but didn't specify why. Now, if you're one of the Republicans in Illinois who happens to disagree with the governor's handling of the pandemic and you aren't a raving lunatic, this is your candidate. I have audio of Paul Schimpf. Let's see how much of this we can listen to.
My name is Paul Schimpf, and I'm running for governor of Illinois. Illinoisans are, in many cases, no longer proud of the state where they grew up. We have all watched while our friends, neighbors, and relatives have fled our state because of corruption, high taxes, and excessive government regulation. This is simply unacceptable. We need a governor we can trust to do the right thing and make tough decisions with the next generation.
Oh, we're losing you. Oh, hold on.
And we need a governor who can make our state.
Ah, damn that Skype.
Yeah, I'm just listening to Schimpf. I have a lot of issues with his name. As Dennis knows. I keep thinking of the Three Stooges, and I can't get him out of my mind right now. Because there was what is his name? Schimpf was one of my favorite Stooges. D. So every time I hear Schimpf, I think of Schimpf. It's really not fair to him, but I can't help myself.
That's really your favorite out of all of them?
No, I have to. I mean, it's really hard to say who my favorite is. Now, this is a really serious. Which one is my favorite? I mean, there's an argument can be made for Mo.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
I'm just thinking of Mo. He's so serious. But then, Larry. There's just something innocent about Larry. I've always liked Larry. and currently, I don't know, D, you know what? Really struggling here. Just cannot pick one. So, and you're right. Schimpf wouldn't. Sorry, gubernatorial candidate Schimpf, but you're not even my favorite stooge. You're like fourth. My fourth favorite stooge.
Yeah, he was like the bench player stooge or something, right?
But I'm just thinking of Mo. Mo does crack me up, man. Just gets all mad. And he pokes Larry in the I watched a lot of Three Stooges when I was a kid.
Did you see the remake that they did? The remake movie of the Three Stooges?
A Farley Brothers movie? No, I never saw it. It got such bad reviews, and I shouldn't trust reviewers when it comes to the Farley Brothers because they don't get the Farley Brothers, and I've pretty much liked every Farley Brother movie I've ever seen. So, is it worth watching?
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it either. But Will Sasso is the man. They got that guy from I believe Will and Grace or Third Rock from the Sun. I get those two mixed up. The guy from Will and Grace and Third Rock from the Sun. One of those plays Larry. So,
maybe I should watch it. No, I didn't. It got bad reviews. I'm not gonna watch it, but I should not trust any review of Booty Call on a tangent with a
Booty Call's awesome.
Well, I know, and then the reviewers panel. God, what a dreadful movie. So 20 years went by, and I go, you know what? I'm going to watch Booty Call. I was roaring.
Yeah.
So
you're saying both Siskel and Ebert didn't like a movie called Booty Call.
I don't.
Shocking.
You know what? Don't quote me on that, but I think they panned it. It was from the 90s, I want to say, an early Jamie Foxx movie.
Tommy Davidson, very
funny. Yeah, when they go to the drugstore to get the condoms. Anyway, That's a tangent within a tangent. Sorry, Schimpf, who's running for governor. That riff you go. People are leaving the state because of excessive government regulations. I want you, Schimpf, to get me 20 people who've left the state of Illinois because of excessive government regulations. I don't know anybody who's left the state. We lost 80,000 Black people from the city of Chicago over the last decade. Nobody cared about that, by the way. I don't recall anybody ever raising attention to that fact. I don't think one of them left because of excessive government regulations. I'm sorry. I am leaving the state of Illinois because I don't like the fact that you protect me from pollution. I want to go to the state of Indiana where I could be polluted to death. I don't think anybody did that, Schimpf. Nope. It'll be really hard for Schimpf to win over Democratic voters, D. Just saying.
All right, so we got Darren Bailey.
That is correct.
We got Paul Schimpf.
My name is Paul Schimpf.
My God, you're boring. Okay, and it is time for our final candidate. He just announced it over the week. Our brand new gubernatorial candidate looking to unseat Governor Pritzker. He's suburban businessman Gary Rabin. The following comes from the Chicago Sun-Times and Andrew Sullender. Tuesday, March 30th, 7:34 p.m. At first glance, suburban businessman Gary Rabin might seem like the classic country club Republican. He's a millionaire entrepreneur. He argues soaring property taxes are the state's #1 problem. He even owns his own country club. But Rabin's political views hook sharply from the more moderate members of the GOP. He's a social conservative opposed to abortion, and he's a strong supporter of former President Donald Trump, calling his 4 years in office, quote, the strongest job creation administration in the history of my lifetime. Ben, please hold your thoughts. I got to read more. If I can be 60 to 70% that effective as a leader in Illinois, Illinois will be a way better place for 4 or 5 years from now. Rabin, age 57, is the third Republican to officially enter the race for governor and the first from the Chicago area. He kicked off his campaign Tuesday with events in his business offices in Schaumburg and at his Bull Valley Golf Club in northwest suburban Woodstock. Ben, have you ever golfed at Bull Valley Golf Club?
No.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
I haven't golfed anywhere. No, golf's not my thing, D.
I can tell. Owning a paving business and several other companies based out of the Northwest exurbs, Rabin is hoping to bring his business expertise to the governor's office. We have more quotes. We have more quotes from Rabin. I know you're excited, Ben. Please contain your excitement. More quotes from Rabin. Rabin said, quote, 15 years ago in Illinois, we really were the best place in the middle of the country to create jobs and start a business, to grow a business. But over the last 15 years, that has deteriorated to becoming the worst. He dismisses Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker as a, quote, trust fund billionaire who doesn't have the right business experience to lead the state, saying, quote, I don't have any knowledge of him ever building a business from the ground up. I mean, he calls himself an entrepreneur, but I've not witnessed real entrepreneurship there. Buying and selling companies for profit is a little different from building a paving business here in Illinois and creating a national platform for paving parking lots. Rabin criticized Pritzker's handling of the COVID-19 crisis, saying that, quote, a total shutdown may not have been necessary. The Bull Valley businessman also derided the governor for recently signing the Illinois Legislative Black Caucus's criminal justice reform bill, saying it will, quote, put our families, our communities, and our neighborhoods in harm's way like never before. Good Lord. But to Rabin, the biggest issue in Illinois is rising property taxes. Those are set by local governments, but Rabin promised to cut them by 50% by the year 2024. He said, quote, people in Illinois that work so hard to pay for their homes end up with very little equity left because of our high property taxes, and that's pushing people out. Rabin has never run for office before, but he has been a Republican donor in Illinois and nationally for decades. So far, he has pumped $250,000 into his own campaign. I got more, but Ben, go ahead. Let it rip.
All right. So much to say. We talked about Rabin a little earlier with his pronouncement about Donald Trump and Donald Trump's theory of the election. We'll get back to that. But let me just start with the conceit that the Sun-Times writer used, and in all due respect to the Sun-Times writer, country club Republicans, he's sort of implying that country club Republicans are more moderate than the Darren Baileys of the world. Dave, have you ever been to a country club?
Never.
Oh, okay. Well, I can tell you, I've been to a few. I've been to a few country clubs in my life. Yeah, okay. And let me tell you something. You go to a country club, I'm going to shatter, what is it? The fourth wall. I'm going to let you into what kind of conversation you hear in a country club. A country club like really rich white people And when really rich white people get together and then kind of look around the room and they see that there's no black people around, you'd be shocked. Or maybe you wouldn't be shocked at the stuff they say. They just feel free to say it. You want to really hear some nasty stuff? Go to the locker room of a rich country club when you have a bunch of naked white men sitting around. There's something about being naked in a locker room that brings out the worst in rich white guys. So this notion.
Who would have thought?
You know what? Clearly, the Sun-Times reporter has never been in a locker room at a country club with a bunch of naked white guys. And by the way, who has?
I didn't think we'd take this turn, but hey, let's see where this goes.
You gotta hear it. I'm just saying, dude. You think those are the moderates? Go to a country club. Go listen to them. You know, they don't even apologize. It's just like, let it rip. That's the problem with America today. And then it kind of conforms with what Rabin is saying. I know how to build a business. You know, they're all like experts on everything because like they're successful in one thing, they translate it into an expertise in something else. So some guy, I don't know, made a bunch of money selling real estate. Now suddenly he can handle the pandemic. Well, I made $1 million selling condominiums. Let me run this state. This notion that somehow or other, I don't even call it a success. You made money in one thing. What was that line about a venture capitalist? Like, you know, they fall, they're in a boat, they jump in the water and they get wet, and they think they did something special? Duh. Anybody could do that. So I don't know. I just don't see. I've never bought into that logic, but a lot of people do, D. To this day, Donald Trump is venerated by a lot of people in America. Goes, well, he's a successful businessman. The guy went bankrupt like 3 or 4 times. How is that successful? Well, he knew how to manipulate the rules, so he didn't have to pay taxes, and he made other people pick up his debt. Oh, so that's the guy you want leading the country? The role model? Rabin can't even, as governor of the state of Illinois, he's got no say in property taxes. Property taxes are allocated by the municipalities, the townships, the counties. Oh, suddenly he's going to say, I'm cutting property taxes. First of all, he couldn't just do it. Secondly, we would need the legislator to go along with them. He wouldn't get the legislator to go along with them. And thirdly, counties across the state would be up in arms. How are you going to pay your school bills? How are you going to pay your school bills, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to close the schools of Illinois? Going to cut the property taxes? But that's, you know, Republicans say, it's the kind of message I want to hear. A roll up your sleeves entrepreneur who paved over parking lots. Is that what he said to you? He actually said it? Yeah. I know how to pave over parking lots.
Oh, well, get him the job.
Oh, what makes you think that being good at paving over parking lots means you'd be a good governor? I don't. I need a little more. I don't. There are some Republicans who go, the man knows how to pave over a parking lot. He should be governor. But I don't know. I had trouble with the lead right off the bat. Like, he's not your typical whacked out Republican. He's a moderate country club Republican. I don't know. I think we should just open up country clubs to everybody to see the kind of language that goes on there. And whoa, eyes will be opened. Shout
out to Brianna on the live stream chat. She says, I can't imagine Ben in a locker room with naked white men either. I mean, I can, but I just don't want to. You know what I mean? I'd rather not, you know?
It's true. And what's really weird, if I'm going to share this, is like, it's been a while since, confession time, D. It's been a while since I've been in a locker room with naked anybody.
Good.
But back in the day, like there's certain guys, like you'd be dressing in a locker room, and there's certain guys who are like totally at ease and just walking up to you, they'll be stark naked and they'll have a conversation with you. I don't know. There's certain boundaries, you know, I got, D. Guys did it. Hey, how's it going, big guy? Huh? How's it going, huh? I saw you out there in the basketball court. You look pretty good. I'm like, dude, you're naked and you're right in front of me. Could you, like, I don't know, back off like 3 feet, 4 feet? Give me a little room here, huh? I'm just heading over to the sauna. And
your keys are jangling, man. Come on, get out of my bed.
I don't know, man.
By the way,
Who thinks you're such a great thing to look at? Go ahead, dude.
how hard did J.B. Pritzker laugh when he read that he has pumped $250,000 into his own campaign? J.B. Pritzker, billionaire, like, oh yeah, that's cute. That's cute. $250,000.
Yeah, hello, Rabin.
The enemy is you.
Okay, J.B.
Yeah, Pritzker kicked in. I forget how many. I saw the article. He kicked in like millions. It was announced last week. I think we were on vacation at the time. I only had time to catch up on one story. I already talked about it. Marianne Ahern's fight with Lori Lightfoot. So I can't catch up on everything I missed when we were gone. But I think last week, Pritzker kicked in a lot of money.
Yeah, and I remember last when he ran for governor, boy, he put in a lot of his own money. Like what, like
Yes, he did.
$6 million?
Dwarf Rauner. And then Rauner was complaining. Rauner, by the way, just want to say, Rabin, you sound a lot like Rauner. Remember him? What a disaster he was.
Speaking of, Rabin backed former Republican Governor Bruce Rauner in his 2014 bid, but broke with Rauner when the GOP governor signed a 2017 law that expanded taxpayer support for abortions in Illinois. Our very own, our good friend Terry Cosgrove and his personal PAC, the bill that he created here. Rabin said, quote, "I believe that Bruce Rauner had his heart in the game to turn around Illinois. Okay. And I backed him because of that. But I did not believe that Bruce would ever do a bill like that." Rabin then switched his support. Maybe the craziest politician we've seen in Illinois, Jeannie Ives, a Wheaton conservative who narrowly lost to Rauner in the 2018 Republican primary. Rabin contributed $10,000 to Ives' campaign.
All right, $10,000 is nothing, Rabin, in this game. Let me just go back in history. And I may be the only guy other than Terry Cosgrove who remembers this. It's really disingenuous for Gary Rabin or any Republican to say, I had no idea that Bruce Rauner would support HB 40. That was the bill, the abortion rights bill. I had no idea he would support it. That is not true. Bruce Rauner ran for governor in 2014, assuring abortion supporters throughout the state of Illinois that he would do nothing to deter women from having the option to get an abortion. In fact, he was a lifelong supporter of abortion rights. In fact, he and his wife had donated to Planned Parenthood. In fact, they took out an advertisement, I think it was in the Tribune, don't quote me, D.
We never
Diana Rauner, the governor's wife, basically they were assuring North Shore women and DuPage County women, don't worry about Bruce. Bruce is his main focus is to destroy unions. He's not going to take away your abortion rights. So, Rabin, if you didn't know that Rauner supported abortion rights, you weren't paying attention, but I think you did know. What would Lori Lightfoot say if she heard this assertion from Rabin? I think she would say, I think you're 100% full of shit. That's what I think. And then what would Rabin say? No, he's too polite to say anything like that. So, D, that is not completely accurate.
I mean, I wouldn't assume that the guy's really polite quite yet. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's really accurate to say that Bruce Rauner kept his support for abortion rights hidden. That's why he got elected. He assured all these North Shore women and DuPage County voters that he wasn't going to take away abortion rights. And so they were like, I don't care about unions, but I do care about abortion rights. I'll vote for Rauner.
But I do think it is accurate to say that that guy loved teachers.
Yay for our teachers! Yay for our teachers!
I mean, listen to that.
Bruce Rauner. Yeah, right. So Rabin, but we'll conclude the Rabin portion of this show. He's got a little more airtime than he deserves. Although I feel like writing a column about this. His quotes about Donald Trump and whether the election was stolen were just some of the most, disingenuous. That's the word that keeps popping into my mind. So someone asked him point blank at his press conference, some reporter. I give him credit. I don't know who the reporter is. I give you credit because it's a great question. What's your opinion of Donald Trump's assertion that the election was stolen. I mean, you say you're a big supporter of Donald Trump. You say Donald Trump is the great president, the job creator, this, that, the other thing. What about his assertion that the election was stolen, even though there's no evidence whatsoever that the election was stolen? And here's Rabin. He's like, you see the brain going, I don't want to offend the hardcore Trumpists, MAGA hat wearers who control the Republican Party, therefore eliminating any chance I have of getting elected in the Republican primary. On the other hand, I have to look forward to picking up enough non-MAGA hat wearers to get elected in a general. So I know I'll pretend as though I'm baffled by the whole thing. And so his response is, I am not smart enough to know whether there was election fraud. So I don't know. Really? That's your answer? On one hand, you're saying you're the world's smartest businessman who took a paving company and turned it into a multi-million-dollar venture, and we turned the state over to you because you're so brilliant, so wise, you're so astute. On the other hand, you say, I'm not smart enough to know whether there's evidence of election fraud. Everybody says there's no evidence whatsoever, but you're not smart enough to see that? D, the Republican Party is in a pickle, and I don't care.
Nice. All right, and that's our statewide coverage, and that was maybe the earliest 2022 Illinois gubernatorial candidate update that you'll ever hear.
This is a 2022 Illinois Gubernatorial Candidate Update.
All right, now to the week that was in the city of Chicago. And Ben, please refrain from talking about hanging out with naked dudes in a locker room as we move on here. It was very weird. An awkward turn we took.
I'm just, getting dressed.
Oh, yeah, right. Hey, let's play hacky sack. Like, okay. I have no public events scheduled for our Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot this afternoon, but today is a very important day for our Chicago mayor. It's her 2-year anniversary of being elected as Chicago mayor. Say what? It's true. Wow. My, how time flies. Now, according to the piece, there's time flies. Is that a new impression on the Ben Joravsky show?
Here's time flying.
Damn, you're good.
What can I say?
Now, according to the piece I am about to read from Shia Kapos and Illinois Politico, a piece which was clearly sent over to Shia by the Lori PR team, Lightfoot is celebrating her 2-year anniversary with simply an email to her supporters because, well, there's too much serious work to address dealing with the pandemic and persistent crime issues. But according to Politico, that has not stopped supporters from sending over some money to the mayor's campaign and please reelect me fund. Ben Joravsky, I have a list of people who are way more richer than you and I will ever be, but nevertheless, it is a list of people who have donated money to our Chicago mayor. I'll read the name and how much they donated, but first, how you feeling about our mayor 2 years in? I mean, you voted for her. How you feeling?
I did vote for her. I did vote for Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Yes, I did. I've been a little down on Mayor Lori Lightfoot, as everybody knows, since the Anjanette Young case burst onto the public scene. I give her, I backed off on criticizing her to a large degree because she could not in a million years have predicted the pandemic coming down, and she was struggling like all politicians, elected officials to deal with it. And so I just said, you know what? These are once in a lifetime moments. And so I just got to give her a little room to maneuver. And, but the way she handled the Anjanette Young situation, and by the way, Anjanette Young will be a guest at First Tuesday. I mentioned that this coming Tuesday. Amaya Dumasafa and I will be doing the show virtually from the Hideout. And Anjanette Young and Shapiro Wells will be there. We'll be talking about policing issues. But the way she handled the Anjanette Young matter really I don't know how to even articulate it. It just upset me so much. Just the blatant untruth. Is she lying? Untruth, the way she handled it and the spin that followed. And it hasn't been quite the same for me and Lori Lightfoot since. It's not like I'm friends with her. I've only met her a couple times in my life. She was always very cordial and friendly to me. I think she told me, she's very smart. She told me what she knew I wanted to hear. Did a great job. And I'm like, oh, wow, I like her. And then she probably walked out of the room and go, God, that guy's an idiot.
What a hippie.
Hey, no, she walked in going, here's how you talk to an old hippie. And she gave me some hippie stuff. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. You're really cool. I'll vote for you. And she walks out thinking, God, what a moron. That's how you. Everybody thinks, oh, it's so hard to trick Ben Joravsky. Nay. Lori Lightfoot did it. I'll just tell him any old thing he wants to hear. He'll fall for it. So, D, yeah, that's Lori Lightfoot and me. I'm happy. Who would I rather have, Lori Lightfoot or Rahm as mayor? Lori Lightfoot. There you go. Huh? How about that, D?
Okay, Lori Lightfoot, Rahm, or Tony Preckwinkle?
At this moment, I would say Tony Preckwinkle. But that's not where I was. Back in, what was it, D? 2019, I was not happy with Tony Preckwinkle.
Okay, Mayor Rahm, Lori Lightfoot, Tony Preckwinkle, or Bob Fioretti?
Fioretti got me an autograph from Bobby Hull. So the bar is pretty low. I mean, did Lori Lightfoot, for millennials, Bobby Hull was a great hockey player for the Blackhawks. Has any other mayor got me that? But in all seriousness, I'd probably go with Tony Preckwinkle.
Okay, here we go. Let's find out who threw some money Mayor Lakefront's way. First up, it's Blackhawks owner Rocky Wirtz. Wirtz and his various companies gave $20,000 to the mayor this week. Chicago White Sox owner Jerry Reinsdorf gave $17,000 through 3 different companies. The donations follow a public letter of support for Lightfoot from Wirtz, Reinsdorf, and other top executives. Executives on the list include civic leader Lester McKeever, Bar Tech Group President Dwayne Barlow. Ben, you know these guys, right? Next, you've hung with these guys naked in a locker room. Next Level Health CEO Cheryl Whitaker, physician Judith Cothran, realtor Kingsley Iman Wingman, I butchered that one, former World Business Chicago CEO Andrea Zopp, and Daryl McKissack, the project manager for the National Museum of African American History and Culture in Washington. Other big donors include Chicago banker Norm Bobins. Oh, you got money from him that one time, Norm. Business consultant and former U.S. ambassador to the Netherlands, Faye Hartog-Levin. Restaurateur Rich Melman, financier Robert Melman, and White Sox senior VP Howard Pfizer all gave $5,000. And Ulta Beauty CEO Mary Dillon, as well as Lollapalooza co-founder Mark Geiger, are also on the donor list.
I am noticeably absent from the donor list. Let's put it that way. Yeah, the powers that be, the cities. By the way, I know Pfizer. I did a story about him many years ago. He was a nice guy, very smart guy. He was the brains behind Jerry Reinsdorf, who's the owner of the White Sox. But look, D, what can I say? The powers that be, the city of Chicago, have decided that Lori Lightfoot is their mayor, and she has signaled to the powers that be, the city of Chicago, that she's looking out for their interest. She is just not going to push forward any quote unquote progressive taxes. She did not take a strong stand on behalf of the fair tax. And she's made it clear that she's not going to buy into lefty rhetoric about tax the rich. And that is a position that most mayors have in the city of Chicago. That's sort of the bottom line for every mayor since Harold Washington. Don't worry. They assure the business community of Chicago. Don't worry. They assure the powers that be in the city of Chicago. I may have told that hippie wacko lefty what he wanted to hear when I was running for mayor, but I have no intentions of following through. So let him just talk in his attic. I'm not going to pay attention to any of the issues that he and other wacko lefties like Carlos Ramirez Rosa, Dennis is old alderman. You don't live in that ward anymore. Rosanna Rodriguez Sanchez believe in. So yeah, it's power. It's Chicago politics. As always, Norm Bobbins is the banker who was in the the Steve James movie, City So Real. And there was that great scene in Christy Hefner's penthouse. Remember that scene? Oh, you didn't see the movie, D. Well, it was a great scene. I wrote about it, talked about it a lot, where all these rich people are sitting around a table and reminiscing fondly about Rahm's reign. You know, he's like, oh, God, I wish he could be mayor forever. And then Bobbins was going on, I love Ed Burke. So, it's just like a different worldview, D. If you're rich, ever think about that? Huh? One day you'll be rich and you'll have a whole different attitude.
Yeah, find me at the country club, naked, walking around. Okay. I know I said you shouldn't talk about it, but I keep bringing it up. Sorry, everybody.
Yes. I have not brought it up in about 10 minutes, but you've brought it up 3 times. Some would say you're intrigued.
Some would say. But hey, congratulations, Mayor. Any words you'd like to say?
I won't just turn the car around.
What?
I'm going to shut it off.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to kick you out, and I'm going to make you walk home.
Oh, that was unnecessary.
I can assure you she was not speaking to any bankers when she said that. Come on in the car. I'll drive you home.
All right, we got 2 more stories here. This is what we do, weekly news coverage, all right? Goes longer than an hour, all right? That's what we're planning to do here. Now, for those who are new to the program, I have made a little prediction here on the Ben Joravsky Show. You see, the city of Chicago has a fraternal order of police, and the fraternal order of police has a president. His name's John Catanzara. And, well, unlike most people who live in the city of Chicago, this guy absolutely loves our former president, Donald Trump. And ever since the public has learned about his love for our, thank God, former president, he has said so many outlandish, racist, and offensive things on social media and in public. Catanzara has had a rough go as the FOP president. And my prediction is that John Catanzara will either be fired or will resign as FOP president by the summertime, and he will be living in Florida. That is my prediction, all right? And Ben, still feeling pretty good about my prediction, especially after reading the following from the Chicago Sun-Times. John Catanzara, the embattled Chicago Police Union president, that's a word for it, embattled, is pushing the city to drop the administrative case that could result in his firing from the Chicago Police Department. Max Caproni, executive director of the Chicago Police Board, said Catanzara filed a motion Wednesday to dismiss the administrative charges the first-time union boss was served with last month. Catanzara is accused of violating 11 department rules for authoring a series of obscene and inflammatory social media posts, making false reports, and being insubordinate or disrespectful to supervisors, among other allegations. It says here, quote, this is from Caproni. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Hey, if you're coming to the Ben Joravsky Show for correct pronunciations, you're listening to the wrong show. Quote, he took the position that the union filed an unfair labor practice against the police department with the Illinois Labor Relations Board, and therefore the police board case should either be dismissed because of that, or at least it should be stayed, which means postponed. Since late December, the Fraternal Order of Police has filed at least 2 labor complaints against the police department on Catanzara's behalf. The most recent complaint was filed January 13th, just 2 days after dozens of aldermen backed a resolution demanding Catanzara's resignation after he defended the actions of the mob that stormed the U.S. Capitol earlier that month. Catanzara, a vocal supporter of former President Donald Trump, later apologized for his comments. We all remember that. Ben, your thoughts on the latest with old Johnny C?
First of all, I'm going to disagree with you, and we'll make this bet. I don't believe he'll be to be fired as head of the Fraternal Order of Police means there'll be some kind of insurrection from members of the Fraternal Order of Police against him. I think he remains popular with the rank and file because he speaks without fear of political correctness, if you follow what I'm saying. They respect that. They like that. So I do believe the second part of your prediction is correct, that one way or another, he'll end up in the state of Florida. Good God, the state of Florida. I've been following the case of the congressman, Matt Gaetz, whatever his name, how to pronounce his name, butchering it. That story, D, is unfreaking believable. We'll probably talk more about it next week. But state of Florida is where Johnny C belongs. He'll have a podcast down there. He'll be hugely successful, and he'll be golfing and hanging out at country clubs. So life will be good for him. He'll get out of the city of Chicago. But I always say this, as a libertarian on First Amendment issues, I support his First Amendment right to say what he wants in regards to politics. And if he wants to support Donald John Trump, he has that right. But I think it's a really foolish position for the Fraternal Order of Police in a city like Chicago, where Donald Trump is reviled, to have as head of the union of MAGA hat wearer, diehard MAGA hat wearer. Just saying, just put my opinion out there too. He has a right to his opinion, and I have the right to mine, D. So Johnny Canizera, by the way, Dennis, I got to say, the Sun-Times has been remarkably restrained on the Canizera beat for a while. You remember how for a while they were just loved running Canizera stories?
Yeah. We thought he was going to take our studio that we had and put up a banner, the John Canizera Show.
That's coming. Maybe. Just kidding. We were restrained. Not a lot of Canizera stories lately. He's been laying low. I'm just not going to go down the path. He gave me that opening D, but I'm just going to hold back about reciting the whole history of his quote-unquote apology. I've written about it, talked about it enough.
Come on, Johnny C. I got money on this, all right? By the summertime, either resign or quit, and you're in Florida. Dude, it would be for your best health, too. I mean, you'll be around like people, you know what I mean? In the city of Chicago, people are just railing against you, you know? All right, and by the way, live stream chat. They're wondering where our good friend Jim is on the live stream chat. They said they're worried about Jim. I actually got an email from Jim, live stream chat room. I'm going to read it real quick. He says, "Hey guys, it's Jim here. He just received a copy of Ben's new book in the mail, by the way."
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim. That means you donated. Thank you,
yeah,
thank you.
He says, "Yes, I am a Ben head." Then he goes, "Anyway, I am back working again." He made the comeback like MJ did. And he says he listens to the downloads now when they're made available. So everybody, he's good. Jim's fine. He's just listening on the download. He's back working again. All right, let's do our final story here. Rudy Acosta Sr., who are you and what the hell did you do? The following comes from the Chicago Sun-Times, John Seidel, and the hitman, Robert Herguth. It's pretty cool, right? My little nickname for it. Monday, March 29th, 4:12 p.m. The headline reads, "Feds charge political operative with ties to Ed Burke and Martin Sandoval. Federal investigations have been swirling for years around one Rudy Acosta Sr." Oh my God, another new sound effect there. Swirling. That's good. That is good. Federal investigations have been swirling for years around one Rudy Acosta Sr., a longtime political operative for Alderman Edward Burke and the late state senator Martin Sandoval. All right, listen, I'm sure this Rudy Acosta, he's a good dude, all right? This could be one of those cases where one story comes out and everyone thinks he's just like some corrupt monster, and it's the furthest thing from the truth, all right? So let's just read on here, all right? Acosta is the father of a one-time reputed drug kingpin whose own case has been pending for more than 5 years. He also has ties to a Summit bar operator who admitted bribing public officials there. He's been questioned several times by the feds. All right, I'm starting to have my doubts now. And Monday, they charged him with concealing material information from the FBI. A 2-page document alleges, under questioning by the FBI in 2017 and 2018, Acosta hid the fact that he'd made cash payments to an unnamed state senator. He also allegedly hid the fact that Acosta and that the senator had received, quote, benefits from an unnamed individual. Okay, it's official. He's a corrupt monster. The Sun-Times have since learned that the unnamed senator was one Martin Sandoval, who pleaded guilty back in January 2020 to federal bribery and tax evasion charges tied to his support of the red light camera industry. The charges against Acosta appear in a document known as an information, typically a signal that a defendant plans to plead guilty. And Acosta's defense attorney, Jeffrey Steinbach, confirmed that that is Acosta's intention. Steinbach said, quote, "I simply want to say that Rudy is doing everything he can to rectify some misjudgments he's made in the past, and this charge is a formal reflection of that effort."
All right. I could go on and on, but I'm going to really be focused. This is a subset of a larger category The larger category is Chicago corruption, and the subset is corruption on the southwest side of Chicago and in the southwest outlying suburbs of the southwest side of Chicago. And I got to give Robert Hergeth credit. He's one of the nicer guys at the Sun-Times. Remember him, D? He was such a nice guy, very friendly guy, very welcoming. Awesome. Yeah, came on our show from time to time. This is a particular obsession of his. He probably knows more about Southwest Side corruption than anyone around. Maybe Danny Mealopoulos of WBEZ knows as much. And so as such, the thing you have to remember is this guy Acosta is, how do I put this? A means to an end. This is my analysis. And the end ultimately is to successfully prosecute Ed Burke. And my guess is, D, that what they're going to try to do is get Acosta to flip and testify against Ed Burke. Of course, the former powerhouse who ran the finance committee for many, many years, was a very powerful Democratic Party chieftain, had a significant role in naming judges. Good God. Ed Burke had a hand in naming judges, and he has fallen far. Although just about 2 months ago, he was articulating his inner Ben Joravsky and talking about municipal budget games that Lori Lightfoot was playing. But anyway, in conclusion, I would say stories down the road. Here's my prediction. We'll have Acosta making accusations against Ed Burke. That is my prediction, right up there with your prediction that Johnny C. will end up in Florida. Well, actually, my prediction is that he'll be running a podcast that will millions, all of Rush Limbaugh's listeners, like, where do I go? They'll go to Johnny C. So that's my prediction, D. And that's the significance of Mr. Acosta.
All right. Anything else you'd like to touch on that before we wrap this sucker up?
No, I think it's time we wrap this sucker up. The first ever. Oh, what a week it was, and what a great show it was.
All right, remember, everybody, you can download previous Ben Joravsky shows, Benny J bonus interviews, and so much more. Over 900 episodes for you to check out. I'm sure you've missed a few. ChicagoReader.com or wherever else you download podcasts. You can always reach us online at Benny J Show, BENNY, the letter J Show, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'd love to read your emails, bennyjshow@gmail.com. Leave us an email, and there's a good chance we will read it. And, guys, we still have a phone number. It's true. 708-658-4788. The number again, 708-658-4788. Call the Ben Joravsky Show. Leave us a voicemail. Do whatever you want. Prank us. I don't know. Just leave us a voicemail. There's a good chance that we will play it on the program. Before we go here, we're going to play our music, and we'll have the one, the only, because I know everybody loves him, state climatologist Trent Ford will be taking us out. But Ben, go ahead.
I'm sorry. You fooled me with the Trent Ford. All right. We'll close with Trent Ford. I want to... By the way, I just want to shout out, tomorrow morning we'll drop an interview, Romana Rundown, with Romana Hussein. DJ Nate has been making his debut as a producer of a segment, did an outstanding job. Well, I hope he did an outstanding job. We'll soon find out. With this new thing we got, Spycaster. No, it's not Spycaster. Spermcaster.
Zoomcaster.
Oh, Zoom. I kind of like Spermcaster.
It's actually Zencaster.
New technique. But and also want to thank the man, the myth, the legend, the pride and joy of Alton, Illinois, without whom this show would be possible. The man worked tirelessly putting this show together, this particular show, and I think he did an outstanding job. And so I speak for the entire state of Illinois, Republicans and Democrats alike, when I say, give yourself a raise, take it out of petty cash. Have a great weekend, everybody.
State Water Survey at the University of Illinois Prairie Research Institute. This is Illinois State Climatologist Trent Ford. Another month in the book for 2021. Temperatures this final week of March range from the high 30s in northern Illinois to the low 50s in southern Illinois, between 1 and 3 degrees above average. March average temperatures range from 3 to 5 degrees above normal, and although the official March numbers aren't released until next week, it is likely we wrapped up a top 20 warmest March on record, and probably the warmest since 2012. On the precipitation side, the have and have not pattern continued this past week, with totals ranging from 3/4 of an inch to just over an inch in central and southern Illinois. But the heavier rains once again missed the northeast corner. This part of the state, in particular Lake County and parts of McHenry and Cook counties, received less than 50% of their normal March precipitation last month, around 2 inches below normal. The March precipitation deficit prompted an expansion of abnormally dry conditions in northeast Illinois in this week's U.S. Drought Monitor. In contrast, a March that was 1 to 2 inches wetter than normal in central Illinois resulted in the complete removal of moderate drought and abnormal dryness south and west of Interstate 74. Soil moisture is in much better shape throughout central Illinois coming into April than even just a month ago. Only the very northern part of the state received measurable snowfall last month, with the highest total of nearly 4 inches in Joe Davies County. Looking ahead, forecasts are showing increasing temperatures throughout this weekend, with the mid to upper 70s across the state early next week. The warmer pattern looks to continue into the second week of April, with the 6 to 10 day forecast showing 60 to 70% chances of above normal temperatures through April 10th. Precipitation chances are small for the next few days, but look to increase as we get deep into next week. The latest April monthly outlook shows the highest chances for warmer than normal conditions, but there is a bit of disagreement as for April precipitation, resulting in equal chances of wetter and drier than normal conditions for this month. This is Illinois State Climatologist Trent Ford, wishing everyone a happy, healthy weekend.